Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm here with my April favorites for 2018, and let's go ahead and jump right on in. So if you guys want to see what products were my favorite this month, then keep on watching. When it came to the month of April, it was a hell of a lot better than it was in March. I certainly felt that my motivation was back to where it needed to be, and I also felt in terms that I had a new sense of motivation, drive, and I don't know, it was a really good month. I got to see Ryan this month. We went to New Hampshire for a wedding, which I know a lot of you guys who watch my Stitch Fix were asking, like, can we see the dress? And I'm really bad and I didn't take any photos in the dress, but we had so much fun at the wedding. It was just a fun time to like get away and not really have any sort of worries or commitments. It was just fun to, I don't know, just kick back and relax. So when it came to April and it came to beauty products, I really struggled when it came to thinking and brainstorming different products that I was grabbing or that I was using or that I was talking about, anything in general, because I feel like the month was so worried about this wedding that's like all my focus was on for the beginning part of the month. And like with the grind time, when it came to going to the gym every day, when it came to the workout split, and it just like, it really got away from me. Favorites is going to be a little bit of everything across the board on first impression. But the first thing I want to talk about is something that I received in my Ipsy bag this month, and it was the Pretty Woman nail polish in the shade color Girl Boss. I received it. I really loved the color of this, but I love even more how it wears. This nail polish is probably among some of the better that I've used. When it comes to certain like indie brand nail polishes, sometimes you're a little hesitant because, you know, they just quite truthfully don't work as well as your Essies or your OPIs. This one was really surprising in terms of how well it wore on my nail. My nails felt stronger wearing them. They rarely chipped. It was a really impressive polish for a company that I had never heard of. It would not make me hesitate twice to step out of my comfort zone and buy another polish from this brand. Really have to say I was impressed, and again, I love the color. It's such a pretty springtime fun pastel. I got a lot of compliments on it, and again, who doesn't love a fresh manicure, especially with something like this? My next favorite this month was something I got my hands on because they had an early access code for like their Instagram users, and it shouldn't be a surprise because it's from Sol de Janeiro, and this is the Ipanema Sunset Glow Oil, and this didn't come out until the very end of the month, but I got it about midway through. It reminds me a lot of the Fenty Body Lava that just came out, and I think I don't know the price points compared to the two, but truthfully, I like this a lot better. I've heard a lot of like really negative reviews when it came to the Body Lava. I heard it's too sticky. I hear that it rubs off everywhere. It's basically like glitter herpes. I've heard it's not good. I think it's actually a new scent that they're working on, and if that's the case, I definitely don't hate it, and it's another product from Sol de Janeiro that I'm totally obsessed with. When it comes to like what this actually is, it's a body glitter basically. I'll go ahead and put it on my arm here. It just leaves your skin feeling really hydrated because of the oil in there, but the best part is that it doesn't leave your skin sticky. It doesn't leave that really awful kind of like sheen or that slick to it. It really dries down nice, but also like when the light hits it, it's so pretty. It's not a bronzing. Y'all mind? Thank you. Motorcycles. The first time I used this, I remember sending a Snapchat to all my friends being like, I straight up feel like Edward Cullen, like the way that like his body would shine in the light with like the diamonds, like 100% this is what this is. The best part is that these sparkles and the shimmer doesn't fade off. Like it lasts from like shower to shower, and I love it because it's just a very romantic feel. Like this is gonna be my secret weapon come spring and summer, because like how pretty would this be like with a tank top on and like putting this on your arms and the sun just hitting it, and you're just gonna be like a glow goddess, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, who's that girl? You could be like, that's me. Like I'm so excited to wear this stuff because it's one of those things that we're so obsessed with highlight, and we're so obsessed with like dousing ourselves in glitter and dousing ourselves in shimmer and dousing ourselves in highlight, that now we can literally bathe in it. And I didn't think I was gonna love it as much as I did. Of course, like naturally when anything comes out from Sol de Janeiro, I'm like, I have to try it. So when they announced that they were doing a early access, obviously had to get it. There is also another one which has that bum cream scent, but that is a little bit darker. I think that this is a perfect, very romantic-esque finish. It's not too daunting on the skin where it literally blinds, but it could totally be built up too. Again, in general, I'm just a really big fan of this, and I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I do. And I was really hesitant if I even wanted to put this in my favorites, but like, I did use it, and I did love it, and it's in my favorites. So yeah. My next favorite this month is my Chi Marble Straightener that I picked up from JCPenney's for $45. Yeah, I know. I was surprised too. I had been a faithful Chi user. I had a Chi, and I bought it, like, I don't even know, like 8 years ago. And when I bought it, I was so proud of this thing. I used my own hard-earned money. Like, I was so ecstatic. And then my friend spilled candle wax all over the inside of it, and it would squeak every time you clenched it. Like, every time you shut it closed, it would like, Arr! So, but it still worked, so I still used it. But I had been using titanium plated straighteners in the past, but I would always pick them up for super cheap at Marshall's, and they worked, but they weren't Chi quality. I've since gone back to ceramic plates, but I love this because it makes me want to straighten my hair more because it only takes 30 seconds to heat up. Spending $45 on a straightener that usually costs between $130 and $150, hell yeah, sign me up. So yeah, this has been definitely one of those things that I know that I had it in my cart when I went to Penny's, and I was like, yeah, I don't really need it, but like, it's super cute because, again, like, who doesn't love marble, because that's such an aesthetic for us millennials. I'm really glad I picked it up. I'm glad that I decided to keep it in my cart and actually purchase it. And yeah, it makes me, again, want to straighten my hair more, and I haven't quite mastered curling my hair with it just yet, but in due time that will happen. I just have to watch more YouTube tutorials to see how that looks, like how they actually do it, because like in my pea brain I just can't figure out how to swirl it, but that's what the internet's for, and I'm gonna learn soon enough, so don't you worry. Next of my favorites, this is actually a fitness product that I have been obsessed with, and this is the Skivation Extend BCAAs and the flavor Blood Orange. I know that I'm going really hard at the gym, and I know it's going to be an intense training session. I will pop some of this in my blender bottle and drink it throughout the workout. I really am a fan of this because it's delicious as all hell. Like, I also bought the watermelon flavor, but I don't love it as much as I love this one, so like I've been trying to like ration so I don't go out of it like super quickly. In fact, today my triceps have been killing me because like I've been going hard at the gym the last 2 days, and it's been a lot of tricep work, and like I knew as soon as I came home like I needed to put some in my blender bottle because I needed it that bad. So I really am a fan. Again, it just tastes really good. It's not like some BCAAs that like you have to choke down, or just like super powdery or just really gross. I've had this in the back of my brain since hearing Whitney Simmons talking about it on her channel, and I was like, well, eventually, like when I run out of BCAAs, I'll get it. But I'm really bad, and I would go to Walmart and buy my BCAAs. I know, like, if I want to be somebody who's super on board with their fitness, like, why would I subject myself to that? And the kid at GNC even said the same thing to me. He's like, no, like, don't ever buy that stuff. It's like it's not good quality. Like, yeah, you're gonna be spending a little bit more money, but I just feel so much better drinking that stuff compared to drinking the BCAAs I was drinking before, which was gross and awful, and I hated them. One of my favorites this month was a book that I read from Frederick Backman, and that was Beartown. And when I read the book, I thought I was gonna love it just based on the fact that it was a hockey story. But a fact about me is that I am a huge hockey fan. I grew up around the game. I grew up loving the sport. In fact, when I was a sports writer, that was my beat, so to speak. So for me, hockey was a big thing. When I saw that this was a hockey book, I'm like, I have to absolutely read it. And then when I actually read the story, it was anything but. And it was one of those things that like it stuck out of my head, and like not just because the story was completely against hockey or completely outside the world of hockey, but it was such a great read. It was so quotable. It was one of those things that it really challenged my thought process, and it really challenged how I thought about scenarios and what I would do in situations. And it just was very well written, and I'm really excited to know that he's writing another installment of this Beartown series, and I'm really excited. He definitely made me a fan of, you know, his style of writing, and I know he's a Swedish author, and just everything about it was so great. I did a book review of it, and you guys can go check it out at the blog. I would highly recommend if you're looking for a story that's going to fully engross you, and I think even if you don't like the sport of hockey, I think anybody would appreciate it, because it's not a story about hockey, it's a story about people and a community, and it was life-changing, honestly. Like, I'm so glad that I read it, and I highly recommended it. I have recommended it to people, and yeah, it was one of those things I was delightfully surprised with. Like, I already knew going in I was gonna like it, because like, who doesn't like hockey? But like, it completely went from 0 to 100, and I could not ask for a better story. So anybody who knows me knows that I'm obsessed with BuzzFeed Unsolved. Like, when it comes to true crime and when it comes to supernatural, huge fan of both series, both seasons, as we will. Anything that has to do with true crime, murder, mystery, supernatural, anything like that has really piqued my interest. And my newfound obsession has been Cults by Parcast Networks, which is a podcast that you can find on your Apple Podcasts, like wherever you listen to your podcast. I love this podcast in particular because it's about cults, and like, when you say cults, it's kind of like, whoa, like, what are you trying to say? Like, are you joining a cult? And it's, no, that's not it at all. It's talks about the several different like notable cults in history. Like, I'm only on episode 3. Let me clarify. I discovered my love for podcasts actually through The Skim, which is a service that I have talked about quite a bit on this channel. But I discovered my love through them because they had recommended this podcast about Heaven's Gate. And I don't know what that is. I'm curious. So I downloaded it, listened to it, and I was so obsessed with like how the story was told and everything about it. And I was like, this is incredible. And then from there, it just opened an entire door to a world of podcasts that I like. I have listened to one about the Atlanta child murderers, which is fantastic. And if you haven't listened to Atlanta Monster, highly recommend it. But I've listened to one about the killing on the Cape, and I've listened to one about Franklin Jones, and I've listened to one about Charlie Manson. Like, it's so interesting and so, like, you just lose your sense of, I don't know. Every morning while I'm getting ready to go to work, I will literally do a 5-minute meditation before I actually sit down and get ready. And then I will finish the meditation and then immediately go to podcasts, and I will listen to podcasts while I'm getting ready. And I'm just like, that 45 minutes when I'm sitting there doing my makeup or doing my hair and I'm listening to about the Manson family and how they killed Sharon Tate and how helter skelter, like, to me it's so interesting. And I'm somebody who loves learning in general, and I don't have enough time during the day to sit there and y'all rude as hell. If that was my father, I'm gonna be so embarrassed. And I know that they do another series too about serial killers, and oh my god, it just like, it makes my insides tingle because I just love learning about that kind of stuff. It's so interesting because not only do they talk about the black and the white, like this is what happened, who, what, where, when, and why, they also talk about the psychology behind it and why maybe Charles Manson was the way that he was, or why Herb Applewhite was the same way. Like, why did he believe in this greater sense of being? It's so interesting. Huge fan. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10 stars. Fire flame emojis. Like, get on board podcasts if you have. I've lived 25 years of my life not knowing what a podcast was until like 3 months ago. What the hell was I doing? The last favorite this month, as I kind of hinted at the beginning of the video, was that Rediscovered motivation. And that's basically it. But I think by far the way that this video turned out, podcasts were definitely my favorite things for this month. But yeah, those were my favorites for the month of April. So thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you like my videos and if you like my content and if you like me, feel free to subscribe by hitting the button down below and getting notified when I post new favorites. I will also be sure to link my blog down below so you guys can go check that out at lifewithsarah or at sarahlock.com, 2 H's, 2 K's. And I'll also be sure to link my social media profiles down below too, so you can follow me and listen to me rant and rave about the Zodiac Killer, and you can listen to me talk about Heaven's Gate. And like, there's a whole world out there that I just need to share because it's so interesting. Like, everything about unsolved crimes and everything about unsolved mysteries. And that show used to scare the hell out of me as a kid, but like as an adult, I'm like, it's like my crack. Like, I'm obsessed with it, obviously. But yeah, with that said, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Take care. Love you always. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Bye.